Our exploration in this episode takes us back to the Middle Ages. A genuine, full-size, fortified medieval castle is being constructed in the North Arkansas Ozarks, and we'll tell you all about it in the first segment. And then we'll venture on into Shoals Caverns near the town of Shoals, and we'll move on to Overflow National Wildlife Refuge near the Louisiana state line. And we'll close it out by venturing into the crevice area at Devil's Den State Park. So now, let's go back in time to the 13th century. So how did Arkansas become the chosen one for the construction of a medieval castle?
Well, there was different aspects that came together. It started out with Jean-Marc Mirat, who was the owner, he's a Frenchman who's lived here for 20 years, the owner of the land, and his happenstance meeting with Michel Guyot in France, and they started talking castle talk. And Jean-Marc noticed that where there was castles in, where Michel Guyot had his castle in France resembled a lot this territory here. And he said there's a lot of people in the United States that couldn't go to Europe to see a real medieval castle. And he said, why don't we bring it to them? And so he invited Michel Guyot to come here, and when he saw this beautiful location, as well as having everything that they needed, the stone, the clay, the wood, everything on the land, then the rest is history.
"30 masons, carpenters, and stone carvers using 13th century techniques and tools will work year-round for 20 years, the average time required to build a castle in the Middle Ages. It's not everybody that can say they helped build a castle.
Yeah, that's correct. In our society today, there's not very many projects that will take a lifetime to complete. This being only the second one I'm aware of in the world, I think it's an outstanding opportunity to build something that'll be here long after I'm gone.
So what kind of an experience has it been for you as far as, you know, working with the tools of, and the means of the Middle Ages?
It's been kind of an adjustment. There's been kind of an adjustment period. I'm getting used to it now. The power tools, kind of miss our power tools, chainsaws, modern conveniences we miss, but it's very rewarding, you know, spending a day and working hard and having a very small piece done at the end of the day.
Definitely the first time experience for something under this kind of construction, and you used to go to the store and buying your material pre-cut, and in this case we had to hand split each log in two and assemble the posts and everything, and everything is used, we were using hand tools, and that's a big difference in modern day power tools, which I'm used to, and it cuts your time about, you know, about a fourth done is what is usually done with power tools, and it's just a whole different experience, but it's really enjoyable.
So do you plan on sticking it out for the duration?
Yeah, I do. I plan to stay here hopefully for the 20 years it's going to take to complete the castle and all the buildings surrounding.
Yes, this is my first time, and it's something that's very different, and it's something that I really enjoy because of just the history thing about it, and you know, you can learn something different, learn the way they used to do things in the 13th century, and you use a lot of the tools, and you do it the hard way, and it's real interesting.
Does it get to be frustrating maybe at times?
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of times whenever you're having to whittle those rocks out and carve them out, you know, some of them is easy and it goes good, and some of them, you know, can be stubborn. They don't want to bust out. Yeah, it gets hard at times.
So do you plan to stick it out for the duration?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. I'm hoping everything goes well, and I'll be here for 20 years.
The job of a blacksmith also plays a key role in the construction of a castle.
Yeah, it's just to keep the tools sharpened up, make new tools when they break, make the horseshoes for the horse, and just to keep the castle going up. And then everything's made right here.
What sort of an experience has it been for you thus far?
Great experience. Yeah, it's different than the modern tools. Getting back in the old way of doing the forging and working of the metals. And it's been a real experience.
So do you plan to stay the duration here, 20 years?
Hopefully, hopefully, yeah. Right now, that's what's got in mind. Yeah. It's different, but hopefully I can stand the heat.
There are actually 3 aspects to the Ozark Medieval Fortress project.
One is scientific, because we have scientific experts that are following the project so that it's authentic and it's real and it follows canons of the 13th century. It's also educational. It's a perfect open air history book for people to come out, groups to come out, schools, anybody to come out and learn a little bit about history, architecture, math, art, all kinds of things. And it's also a human project because we have our guys that are building the castle, but we will also have volunteers that come and work together with the professionals building the castle. So you've got the experts, novices, volunteers, employees. It's a whole human interaction that gives a real spirit to the project.
After completion, plans are to build a monastery or convent and a village in order to continue portraying life in the Middle Ages. So come and experience for yourself an amazing feat in the Arkansas Ozarks north of Harrison, ongoing until the year 2030. The Middle Ages in action, a living history book. The age of chivalry lives on.
$350 million years in the making, with formations that totally engulf you. For a journey to the center of the earth with the greatest of ease, you'll find it here at Shoals Caverns.
So as mineral water is coming through, it's going to pick up that rust and leave it on the formations. So tan and brown clay, you're going to have tan and brown formations. If you go to North Carolina, where they have rich iron deposits, it's going to be orange to light orange formations. So what I'm basically saying is soil content and bedrock levels will give you an idea of what to expect before you ever set foot inside of any cave.
Shoals Caverns happens to be one of the oldest caverns in the world.
It's 350 million years old, which means that it does hold the claim to fame for having every known formation throughout the United States. The other thing that makes it interesting is that it's a much more tunnel-like experience. Usually many caves you go to, such as Blanchard Springs or Mystic or Cosmic, they're a much more dome-like experience and it's very large. So I tell people to appreciate those caves for that size, but at the same time, when you come to us, you have a cave, I would like to say, that's in your face. As you're walking around, you're within inches of things instead of several feet from things. The other thing that I like about this cave is its location and a lot of the personal history that's attached to it. Like in 330 BC, the Cliffwalker Indians were the first people to utilize it as a home. Afterwards, there came the Reed Indians, the Osage Indians, all the way up until the early settlers moved into this area. After they left the area, the settlers took over the cave temporarily for storing supplies, things like that, by putting logs in our water, similar to that of a well core. And then way later on down the road, you would have Confederate soldiers utilizing the cave for the purpose of making gunpowder and using it for a light triage. The reason being is just temperature. It's 59.6 degrees inside, so the human body reacted way better to that. And the working conditions for working underground was much more comfortable than being outside. After that, it was utilized by moonshiners before, during, and after Prohibition, just for simply hiding a still in a cave instead of your backyard. And then after that, it was put up for tourism in the 50s. All right, our next point of interest is above our heads, but mainly we're going to be looking at these three beasties right here. Each one of these drapolite weigh approximately 3 tons plus and can support up to 18 times their own weight, which basically means you could take 3 of my ugly blue Explorer from out front, jack them up, chain them to this first one, and it'll hold all 3 with no problems. Then we have this stone waterfall looking thing. Its complicated name is flowstone. Just think of flowing stone and you'll always get flowstone. Then behind this gentleman's head is cave coral. And then last but not least, behind you guys in this cubby hole is a column. Now, all these formations have one thing in common. They're made from calcite. This comes to pass as water goes through topsoil, hitting pockets of carbon dioxide, becoming a light carbonic acid. So it leaches and dissolves and evaporates and in turn leaves those minerals behind.
The one thing about Bull Shoals Caverns, it does have an abundance of water.
The water is spring-fed. To the best of my current knowledge, it's 99.32% pure with a 0.68 percentage of just mineral content, so it's very healthy to drink. The only problem with that is it lacks its own individual biology to support massive cave life in there, such as blind fish and so forth and so on. So basically, you can go down as long as you're not being flooded out, grab yourself a cup of something to drink and feel refreshed.
Along with all the water, there are also salamanders, cave crickets that don't chirp, guess they like to keep quiet in a cave, and of course, bats. Interesting thing about caves, you can venture into the same one many times, and each time it's a different experience.
It's refreshing because you're always seeing something new, not just for our cave, but I'd have to say almost every cave that you could go to. You can go through it 100 times, and then if you have the opportunity to look around, you're going to see something new each and every time because below ground is so different from above ground.
And that it is. I've said it before and I'll say it again. Going inside a cave is like going to another planet.
"200 years ago, the lower Mississippi River Valley contained some 24 million acres of bottomland hardwood forests. Today, only about 4 million acres remain. Overflow National Wildlife Refuge within the tributary of Overflow Creek was established in 1980 to protect one of the last remaining bottomland hardwood forests considered vital in maintaining waterfowl along the Mississippi Flyway.
It is difficult to imagine just how much of this land was bottomland hardwood forest.
it was just covered. The big land clearing started probably around the Civil War when there was labor to clear the land. And of course Indians were clearing land here along Bayou Bartholomew even years before then. There were very large fields cleared along the bayou. They were higher ground. The Bayou Bartholomew was an ancestral channel of the Arkansas River, and the sandy banks are still the best farmland in the county. And that's where many Indian artifacts are found. Still quite a few signs of Indian civilization, Indian mounds. Many have been somewhat leveled, somewhat disturbed, and artifacts collected and so on and so forth, but there's plenty of evidence that they were here. And then modern day land clearing started occurring really in the 1960s, and this very ground we're sitting on right here, that we're standing on right here, was most likely cleared in the early 60s.
About 2,000 acres on the refuge have been reforested with the hardwoods that once grew here.
Those being all the native oaks, which consist of water oak, overcup oak, willow oak, post oak. It's actually called Delta post oak down here, slightly different species or subspecies. And cherry bark oak. There are many oak species. Anyone that says they know all the oak trees is probably not telling you quite the truth, because they're very difficult to identify and most valuable for food for waterfowl, producing those acorns.
Refuge manager Lake Lewis, in talking to us, inadvertently mentioned why National Wildlife Refuges, Overflow included, are referred to as America's best kept secret.
Most people from Stuttgart, Pine Bluff area, and Little Rock have not even heard of the Overflow creek bottoms, or really aware that the refuge is here. We still have great duck migrations, nothing quite like they used to be in the old days, but we usually have full parking lots whenever we do have plenty of water and plenty of ducks. And this year people had success more than half the days of the season. People had great success duck hunting. In the green timber, primarily mallards are the main species of waterfowl that people are after. There are plenty of green-winged teal in the green timber down here, and lots of wood ducks, and occasionally even a few pintails and some gadwalls. Out here in the fields, we have a diverse array of ducks, gadwalls, green-winged teal, blue-winged teal, diving ducks, plenty of mallards. Gadwall and mallard are probably the two most sought after species here. And as winter comes to an end and we ease into this time of the year, we start seeing fewer ducks as we have today. We haven't seen very many ducks, but the shorebirds start moving on their northern migration back to Canada. That's what we're looking at here on this wetland today is a variety of shorebirds. They're feeding. They will feed till they just cannot stand it any longer. Then they will pick up and migrate further north until they lose practically half of their body weight, and then they will look for other wetlands like this in the Midwest as they move their way up through the Mississippi River Valley, and then they will set back down and feed. And these are very, very important areas, these little small wetlands like we manage right here for these shorebirds. And as the shorebirds leave in the summertime, these wetlands will fill up with crawfish and small fish, and wading birds will come in here and be often very thick at times. This field right here, for example, if we keep it full of water like we're going to do this summer, it'll be literally white with white egrets, and even later on, white ibis, wood storks, great blue herons, green herons.
In other words, plenty of wildlife year-round for everyone to come, experience, and enjoy. It is the largest sandstone crevice area in the entire United States, and it happens to be located at Devil's Den State Park in northwest Arkansas.
Well, it is certainly a beautiful area to come and explore. It's quite an adventure. You're really on the edge when you come up here. The rocks tell a story of the geology of the area. These sandstone sedimentary rocks are remnants of when there was a prehistoric ocean all the way up to this part of northwest Arkansas. We can still find fossil evidence of that today. And so it's beautiful to see all the lichens that are living on the rocks, all the hydrangeas and ferns that crawl up the walls and really struggle to survive up here. And it's just a beautiful area for a real adventure.
Well, that's what we're on, adventure.
The crevice area is along Devil's Den Trail, which begins behind the Visitor Center. This trail is a designated component of the National Trail System. The crevices are also recognized by the Arkansas Natural Heritage Commission as a rare habitat critical to the survival of threatened and endangered species.
The crevices were actually formed at the same time as the caves, and them being in sandstone, they weren't created by water dissolving the calcium carbonate out of the rocks like you find in most caves in the world. These were actually created when a chunk of the plateau side slid down into the valley and cracked open. And that's why when you look at the two sides, you can actually see how they'd fit back together. Of course, we're in the Ozark Plateaus. Plateaus, all the rocks should be completely horizontal with the horizon, but here at Devil's Den we have a dip known as a syncline in the rock layers. Having this heavy sandstone, which is permeable to water, sitting on top of a layer of shale that's been eroding away by Lee Creek for millions of years, which is impermeable to water, set up just the right circumstance to have the sandstone slide down off of the bluff and crack and break open, creating these huge fracture crevices that we see today.
As park interpreter Rebecca Spurlock and I made our way down into one of the crevices, you can see how we were just swallowed up by its enormous size.
As we go down, you can feel how it gets a little bit cooler because that cold air sinks, kind of a thermocline like you would find in a lake or pond. Tell everybody not to trust the trees.
When venturing down into these crevices, try not to stare too long at the moss like I did.
And many people are surprised to know that the rocks, when they're split open, are actually orange. So they look green and gray and black because of all the different lichens and mosses growing up the sides, but
Whoa.
all right there.
All right, made it. I was looking at this moss here. That's
Pretty
awesome.
amazing. And if you really look at the two sides, you can start to see how they would fit back together. You see how that piece hangs out? And then there's a break in that piece. If we were strong enough, we could push this back into one solid bluff side. And obviously, these do not fill up with water. A lot of people ask if these fill up with water ever, but the rocks are so porous and cracked that it just soaks right through. can really see all the layers of time down here.
Yeah. So if you'd like to try your attempt at a little crevassing, simply get in touch with one of the park interpreters at Devil's Den State Park. And for more on this destination, plus many of our others, and to read my blog or to order a copy of an episode, visit our website, aetn.org/exploringarkansas. And we'll see you again the next time for another exciting adventure on Exploring Arkansas.